Breaking news from the Oval Office.
Putting the people of the United States of America first, and that's what this president has done.
Why Biden steps down and endorses his vice president in the presidential race. Getting back to business.
And they canceled it right before we were supposed to get on.
After the major tech outage across the world. And the grand opening of a store for your four-legged friend.
So I got to play with some of the new puppies, and I almost wanted to buy another one.
These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Anthony Cruz.
I'm Valentina Gaspari. Today is Monday, July 22nd, 2024.
Live from the Lee Kaplan School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
An unprecedented decision in this 2024 cycle. President Joe Biden is no longer the Democratic nominee as of this morning. The president is endorsing VP Kamala Harris as the nominee, but we still await the delegate's decision.
And as CNN's Michael Yoshida reports, the president's decision, while in COVID isolation, was one that he said was in the best interest of his party.
I just think it's a little shocking at this stage of the game.
Voters across the country reacting to President Joe Biden's stunning announcement. He is no longer seeking re-election in the 2024 race for the White House.
I'm upset and I'm sad about it.
I was so happy when I heard it because I just don't think that he's up to it.
While isolating with COVID, Biden posting a letter on X on Sunday saying, "I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down."
Joe Biden reminded us that true patriotism, true leadership is putting the people of the United States of America first, and that's what this president has done.
Shortly after announcing what will likely be the final chapter in his 50-plus-year political career, Biden putting his support behind Vice President Kamala Harris to be the Democratic nominee. Harris responding, "I am honored to have the president's endorsement, and my intention is to earn and win this nomination."
I do think she's the best candidate. I think the American people will see that in her, and they will compare her to the alternative.
Former President and Republican nominee Donald Trump reacting to Biden's move, saying on Truth Social, "Crooked Joe Biden was not fit to run for president and is certainly not fit to serve." Now, the makeup of the Democratic ticket resting with the roughly 4,700 delegates who will, in the coming weeks, vote for a new potential leader.
And we will hear from Vice President Kamala Harris today as she speaks here at the White House honoring NCAA champions. As for President Biden, he remains in Delaware recovering from COVID, but says he'll deliver a speech to the nation later this week. Reporting at the White House, I'm Michael Yoshida.
A man here in Florida is in jail this morning after being accused of killing his girlfriend back in 1999. And as WFTV's Nick Papantanis reports, the man had fought with his girlfriend and eventually kicked her out of the house.
Police say he's already admitted to the killing. Video of his arrest shows he wasn't protesting as they put the handcuffs on him after 9,000 days of freedom.
You're here on a warrant charged with homicide.
A full 24 hours after his arrest, Gary Durant said nothing as a judge told him he wouldn't be getting out of jail. For a quarter century, Durant walked around Central Florida freely. That ended when the handcuffs came out Thursday, and he was told he was under arrest for the murder of his girlfriend, Sherry Holtz, in December of 1999.
We are absolutely positive that the right man is behind bars tonight.
Police say Durant fought with Holtz and kicked her out of his house the day before her death. She was seen leaving a bar with two men. Her body was found by someone collecting cans in the woods off 1792 the next day. Police said they also found a knife. They couldn't get a DNA hit at the time to narrow down their suspect list. They said they reran the knife and matched the DNA to Durant's. They said they also got new information from his roommates that indicated Durant knew his girlfriend was dead before police began their investigation.
We just kind of hope that that this brings some peace to the family, knowing that an individual who was a longtime boyfriend will spend the rest of his natural life in jail.
And Durant is due back in court in September. In Seminole County, Nick Papantanis, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
And the South Florida man is also in custody this morning after allegedly making death threats against former President Donald Trump and his running mate. On Friday, Palm Beach Police Department arrested Michael Wiseman after they say he made threats to harm the former president and Senator J.D. Vance on social media. This comes just a week after Trump's attempted assassination. Wiseman will be held without bond and is due in court next month.
And speaking of Trump this morning, Secret Services in Palm Beach County are advancing security near his home in Mar-a-Lago. Local officials had no say in this decision, as road closures in the area were ordered strictly by Secret Services. This security is going to remain until further notice.
And this morning, operations are slowly picking up after the major worldwide outage. And it's being called the largest tech outage in history. KYW's Ray Strickland has more on how this disruption affected a family's flight to South Florida.
I'm tired and stressed out to the max.
It's been a long couple of days for Jeffrey Crane and his family. He says they were supposed to be on a flight from Allentown to Florida Friday before the outage changed their plans.
Our first flight, we got there at 4, I think it was. I don't know, it was early. That's all I know. And it was delayed for a couple hours, and they kept saying they didn't know what was going to happen. And then they canceled it right before we were supposed to get on.
Crane then went home to Scranton before driving more than 2 hours to PHL. He says it was the closest airport that would get him to Tampa the fastest. And finally, they got a flight scheduled.
I'm happy, but still stressed a little bit.
So it was delayed and still delayed again.
Kathleen Smith and her family shared a similar experience after their flight at Newark Airport was canceled. Smith says they then drove all the way from Middlesex County, New Jersey, to also get a flight to Florida in time to make it to her kids' baseball tournament.
And I don't think there's anything you can do about it, right? Even the folks in the airports, there's nothing they can do about it. And they were all trying to be as helpful as possible.
Vacations were delayed, family reunions.
PHL spokesperson Heather Redfern says airlines are still in recovery mode.
This hit all of the major hubs, Atlanta, Dallas, Chicago, So once it hits those hubs, then it just cascades, and flights can't get here, crews can't get here to turn around to go back out again.
And she says it's unclear to know when things will return to normal, but she says progress is being made.
Delta, United, Spirit seem to be still going through some issues, especially here, flights getting to PHL.
That was KYW's Ray Strickland reporting. According to tracking website FlightAware.com, more than 1,500 U.S. flights were canceled for a third straight day on Sunday, and more than 8,500 were delayed.
The Marlins taking a shot at winning their first series after the All-Star break.
I'm telling you, their second half turnaround is still ahead, and so is this story.
The thing about today and being at the puppy mansion was getting my dog groomed, but also I got to play with some of the new puppies, and I almost wanted to buy another one.
Checking your dog to luxury as a puppy mansion in Dade County is giving them the good life. Don't go anywhere. Newsbreak will be back in just 2 minutes.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day.
Millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other
on a deeper level. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward. Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences can make us stronger.
Treat your furry friend to a special day at Puppy Mansion, as the new business aims at being more than just a pet store.
That's right, Anthony. And Caplin News reporter Ana Paula Mayorga was on hand Saturday for the grand opening of this adorable puppy mansion in the Hammocks neighborhood of Southwest Miami-Dade.
Welcome to Puppy Mansion! A new pet store called Puppy Mansion has opened in the Hammocks, Florida. Miami-Dade Commissioner Roberto Gonzalez delivered a speech followed by the ribbon-cutting ceremony.
We're here at the grand opening of Puppy Mansion, and it's a celebration with food vendors, raffles, playtime with the puppies, and much more. Let's take a look around.
The grand opening was open to the public, welcoming families, kids of all ages, and pet lovers to join in the fun.
My favorite thing about today and being at the Puppy Mansion was getting my dog groomed, but also I got to play with some of the new puppies, and I almost wanted to buy another one.
A variety of activities were offered for kids, including painting their faces, having balloon figures made, and spinning the wheel to win prizes.
So the idea behind the concept and design of Puppy Mansion was brainstormed together. We wanted to go beyond having a pet store, as you see, and was to create a brand that can evolve into something down the line.
In this vision that we had, it was all about making a difference, and I think putting love into it is the difference.
Puppy Mansion is committed to promoting responsible pet ownership. They view dogs as more than just pets. They consider them family.
My favorite thing is seeing the families, the kids. I saw, puppies and dogs right here that the families brought, and it was just amazing. We had the kids here dancing, having a good time.
The grand opening took pride on celebrating the local pet community. Reporting for Caplin News, I am Ana Paula Mayorga.
The Marlins power hitters leading the comeback against the Mets as they look to close out their series on a high note today. The Mets would take a 1-0 early lead, but a 3-run homer from Jazz Chisholm Jr. would shift the momentum of the night. Jake Berger would close out the game in animal style with a solo homer at the bottom of the 7th that the Mets could not recover from. The final score was Mets 2, Marlins 4. The fish will look to get a series win under their belt tonight before they move on to face the best team in the American League in the Baltimore Orioles. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
Really use a new tablet. I just don't have the money.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a Pell Grant?
Yes.
You do know you can get a free tablet, right?
Did you say free?
Yeah, free. It's simple. And the application is done in the store.
I could really use a tablet.
Go get one. Another satisfied customer. Stop by Panther in the Graham Center at FIU MMC today to speak with one of our associates to get your free tablet.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life. But how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have something called prediabetes. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak this morning. I'm Valentina Gaspari.
And I'm Anthony Cruz. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.